You got to stay with me for this next story. This is a story of stolen identity. A movie could be about this. The man you see here on the left is Matthew Keirans, but investigators say he has been living the past 30 years pretending to be the guy on the right, William Woods.
On a Tuesday in February, in a state psychiatric facility in California, a man sat in a vinyl chair waiting for his medication. He had been telling the same story for almost a year. He told it to the bank manager. He told it to the arresting officer. He told it to the prosecutor. He told it to the judge. He told it to the doctors. He told them his name was William Woods. He told them his date of birth was August 20th, 1964. The bank manager asks the questions. The man at the counter cannot answer them. He cannot answer them because the man in Wisconsin is the one who set them up. And in Wisconsin, every time the man's name came up, every time someone in California started to listen, that other man picked up the phone, dialed the Los Angeles Police Department, and reminded them that the prisoner was lying. He sent them documents. He answered their questions. He had the answers because he had been the one writing them for 3 decades. The man in the psychiatric ward swallowed the medication. He spent 147 days in that facility. He spent 428 days in jail before that. He was telling the truth the entire time. This is the story of how a man's identity was taken from him at a hot dog cart in 1988, and how, 31 years later, the system designed to protect him locked him in a cell because the imposter had become a more convincing version of him than he was. Albuquerque, New Mexico, 1988. The unemployment rate in the city is climbing. 2 men, both in their early 20s, both with no fixed address, take jobs at the same hot dog cart on a downtown street corner. One of them is named William Donald Woods. He's 24. He grew up in Kentucky. Quiet, soft-spoken. Carries his Social Security card in his wallet because he doesn't have anywhere else to put it. The other man is Matthew David Keirans. He's 22. He was born in California in 1966, adopted as an infant. According to court records, he ran away from his adoptive home around the age of 16 and never went back. By the time he meets William Woods at that hot dog cart, Matthew Keirans has already been arrested in California, in Kentucky, and in New Mexico. There is, court records will later show, an outstanding warrant in San Francisco for the alleged theft of an automobile. He failed to appear in court. He disappeared. He needs a new name. According to William Woods' later sworn testimony, one afternoon at that cart, his wallet went missing. He confronted Keirans directly. He threatened to use force. The wallet came back. What Woods did not know, what no one would know for 35 years, is that during the time the wallet was missing, Matthew Keirans had memorized the Social Security number printed on that card. That 9-digit number is the moment this entire story begins. If a coworker told you they'd taken your wallet and gave it back, would you check your Social Security card? Within 2 years, Matthew Keirans walks into a Department of Motor Vehicles in Colorado and applies for a driver's license. He gives his name as William Donald Woods. He gives the date of birth from Woods' stolen Social Security card. He provides supporting documents that, on paper, are good enough. He walks out with a Colorado driver's license that says William Donald Woods. From the Department of Justice press release, there is no record anywhere in the United States of Matthew David Keirans using his own legal name after 1988. He simply stops existing. Over the next 2.5 decades, the man calling himself William Woods will open bank accounts, apply for credit cards, take out loans, title vehicles, sign deeds, get married, have a son. All of it under the name of a man he last saw at a hot dog cart in 1988. And as long as no one asks the question that is sitting at the bottom of every one of those documents, is this person actually who he says he is? The system will treat him exactly as it treats anyone else. The system is designed to trust the paper. The paper said William Woods. By 2012, the man calling himself William Woods is living in Heartland, Wisconsin, a town of about 9,000 people, 25 miles west of Milwaukee. He has a wife. He has a son. From the outside, by every observable measure, he is a successful, employed, middle-aged American man. But there is a problem. The driver's license worked at the DMV. The Social Security number worked for credit. But to climb any further, he needs one document he has never been able to produce: a birth certificate. According to federal court filings in 2012, Matthew Keirans logs onto Ancestry.com and begins searching public records for the family of the real William Donald Woods. He finds it. He finds the name of Woods's biological father. He finds the names of relatives. He finds enough corroborating detail to construct a profile that matches a real human being. He then submits a request to the Commonwealth of Kentucky for a certified copy of William Woods's birth certificate. It arrives in the mail. He now has the document the United States government considers proof of identity from the moment a person is born. He is no longer just a man with a stolen Social Security number. He is, on paper, a person. In June 2013, with that birth certificate in his file, he applies for a position at the University of Iowa Hospitals and Clinics, one of the largest academic medical centers in the United States. He is hired as a systems architect in the IT department. He works remotely from Wisconsin. He never sets foot on campus full-time. According to court documents, his security clearance, over the next decade, climbs to the highest possible tier inside the hospital's online systems. He is, in the language of the indictment, the key administrator of critical systems. He is, in plain English, one of the people the hospital trusts to protect everyone else's data. He earns more than $700,000 over 10 years. In his final full year, his salary is $140,501. The hospital has no idea that the resume on file is a fiction. The diplomas are listed under William Woods. The Social Security number is William Woods's. The birth certificate says William Woods. The man who actually holds the keys to the digital infrastructure of one of the largest hospitals in the Midwest does not legally exist. How does someone become a senior IT administrator at a major hospital using a stolen identity? Tell me where the system failed in the comments, and we'll pin the best answer.
So here's the story here. Investigators say the men worked at a hot dog stand together in the 80s, and that's when Keirans got his hands on Woods' Social Security card, used to create a whole new life. The fake Woods got married, had a kid, opened a bank account, started a successful IT career, and then in 2019, the real Woods tried to get his identity back. But then Keirans tricked investigators into thinking Woods was the imposter. Woods was charged and sent to a mental hospital where he was forcibly medicated.
Before we go further into this, a small thing. If you've made it 9.5 minutes into a story this strange, you are exactly the kind of person we make this channel for. We don't chase trends, we trace records, court documents, federal filings, the actual paper trail. If you want more of this, the like button does more than you think. It is, in a very real sense, the only vote you get. Subscribe if the friction in this story has caught you. We have one new case file every week. Now, back to William Woods. Because in 2019, he is about to walk into a bank in Los Angeles, and he is about to make the worst decision of his life. By 2019, the real William Woods is 55 years old. He has been homeless on and off for most of the last 15 years. He has been living in Los Angeles County. He sleeps where he can. At some point that year, he learns that someone has been opening lines of credit using his Social Security number. The debt is in the hundreds of thousands of dollars. He goes to a branch of his bank in Los Angeles. He explains the situation. He says he wants to close every account associated with his name. He says he does not owe the debt. He shows his real identification. The bank manager pulls up the file. The file says the customer is William Donald Woods. The file is associated with a man in Heartland, Wisconsin. The file has security questions. The bank manager asks the questions. The man at the counter cannot answer them. He cannot answer them because the man in Wisconsin is the one who set them up. The bank calls the Los Angeles Police Department. The officers who respond do exactly what they are supposed to do. They call the registered customer. The phone number on file rings in Heartland, Wisconsin. The man who answers identifies himself as William Donald Woods. He says he is at home. He says he has not authorized anyone in California to access his accounts. He says the man in the bank is committing identity theft. The officers ask him to send proof. He sends them documents. He sends them his fake birth certificate. He sends them his stolen Social Security number. He sends them the answers to the security questions. The real William Woods is arrested at the bank. He is charged with 2 felonies, identity theft and false impersonation of another person. He is held without bail in the Los Angeles County Jail. He spends the next months in custody. He keeps insisting on his name. He keeps insisting that the man in Wisconsin is the imposter. He keeps insisting that the system has it backward. In February of 2020, a California judge rules that he is not mentally competent to stand trial, in part because his refusal to accept the identity the state had assigned him is interpreted as a sign of psychiatric instability. He is transferred to a state psychiatric facility. He is administered psychiatric medication on order of the California court against his will. According to the federal record, he spent 147 days at that facility. Combined with his time in LA County Jail, he spent 428 days in custody for the offense of telling the truth about his own name. And the entire time he was inside in California, the man in Wisconsin was checking on the case. According to court documents, Matthew Keirans called the LAPD. He called the Los Angeles District Attorney's Office. He emailed prosecutors. When he was told the case was paused because Woods had not been declared mentally competent, the file shows that Keirans wrote back, "This is assuming he does." He was hoping the real William Woods would never come back. Stop the video. Reread that last line. Then tell me, at what point in this case did you stop being able to look away? Before this story moves forward, a pause. William Donald Woods spent 428 days in custody. He was administered psychiatric medication he did not need. He was told by a court of law that he was wrong about who he was. He was ordered on his release to stop using his own name. Whatever you take from this episode, take this first. A person told the truth, and the system designed to protect him locked him away for it. He did not break. He kept telling the truth. He kept fighting. And eventually, he was the one who solved this case. To William Woods, and to anyone watching who has ever been disbelieved when the only thing they had left was their own word, this episode is for you. In August of 2021, William Woods is released from custody in Los Angeles. He has accepted a plea agreement. The deal is first time served. He pays a $400 fine. He is ordered by the court never to use the name William Woods again. He is, on paper, no one. He travels back to Albuquerque, the same city where, 33 years earlier, he met the man at the hot dog cart. He does not stop fighting. According to credit reporting agencies, between 2021 and 2023, the real William Woods filed more than 30 separate disputes attempting to clear his credit report. Court records contain an email from Matthew Keirans to a prosecutor in Los Angeles. He complains. He says that William Woods has filed 30 disputes and that he has just spent 2 hours clearing all that up. The real William Woods, with no money, no fixed address, and a court order telling him to stop using his own name, was beating the imposter by attrition. In January of 2023, Woods finds something he has been looking for years, the address of the man who took his name, Heartland, Wisconsin. Through his credit report disputes, he traces the imposter to a specific employer. That employer is the University of Iowa Hospitals and Clinics. He picks up the phone. He calls hospital security. He explains that one of their employees is using a stolen identity. The hospital does what most institutions would do. They refer the call to law enforcement. The call is forwarded to the University of Iowa Police Department. The case lands on the desk of a detective named Ian Mallory. Detective Ian Mallory takes the file in February of 2023. According to a press release, Mallory works the case for the next several months by hand. He pulls records from 7 different states: Wisconsin, California, Idaho, Colorado, Oregon, Kentucky, and Iowa. He reads hundreds of pages of police reports and government documents. He cross-references criminal histories under both names. He finds a pattern: the arrests in California, Kentucky, and New Mexico in the late 1980s. The complete disappearance of the name Ian Matthew David Keirans from any system after 1988. The sudden appearance of a William Donald Woods with a Colorado driver's license in 1990. A driver's license issued from a state where the real William Woods had never lived. But none of that is enough to break the case open. To break the case open, Mallory needs the one thing only biology can give him. In June of 2023, Detective Mallory tracks down the man listed as William Woods' biological father on the Kentucky birth certificate. The man is alive. The man is in his 80s. The man agrees to a DNA swab. Mallory shows the elderly man a photo lineup. The elderly man points to the real William Woods and says, "That's my son." The DNA report comes back. The real William Woods is genetically the son of the man named on the Kentucky birth certificate. The man in Heartland, Wisconsin, is not. Mallory drives to Heartland. He sits down with Matthew Keirans. He shows him the DNA report. Court documents record what Keirans says next. He says, "Or my life is over." He says, "Or everything is gone." He confesses to the entire scheme: the hot dog cart, the wallet, the Colorado license, the Kentucky birth certificate, the decade at the hospital, and, most importantly, the calls and the faxes to the LAPD. Detective Mallory will later receive an award for the work, the Wisconsin Bill case, the department calls it. On April 1, 2024, Matthew David Keirans pleads guilty in federal court to 2 counts, making false statements to a federally insured credit union and aggravated identity theft. His sentencing is set for the following year. On January 31, 2025, he stands in the same federal courtroom in shackles, surrounded by U.S. Marshals. The judge addresses him directly. According to reporting from the Gazette, the judge calls his conduct callous and/or ruthless. The court describes it as unique, unusual, and egregious. The court emphasizes that Keirans intentionally sought the prosecution and incarceration of the real William Woods. He is sentenced to 144 months in federal prison, 12 years.
New information at 6. A man from Heartland is sentenced to 12 years in prison after pleading guilty to aggravated identity theft and making false statements. Matthew Keirans took the identity of another man so convincingly for decades, leading the victim to be forcibly medicated and jailed for identity theft of himself. Keirans pleaded guilty last April and was sentenced to 12 years in prison.
He is fined $10,000 and ordered to pay an additional $10,000 in attorney's fees. The court orders him to pay restitution to William Woods. To date, $6,190 has been collected. The federal court also rules that if the state of California ever attempts to bill William Woods for the more than $100,000 in costs, Keirans is on the hook for it. In April of 2026, Keirans' appeal is heard by the United States Court of Appeals for the 8th Circuit. He argues the sentence is excessive. He argues the special conditions are based on conduct that is too distant in time to matter. The 8th Circuit rejects the appeal in full. The panel's published opinion runs to 15 pages. The sentence stands. In March of 2025, a reporter travels to Albuquerque to meet William Woods. He has been living back in the city since his release. He is 61 years old. He has a social security number again, his own. He has his name back. He has filed a claim for $80,640, calculated at $140 per day for the 576 days he spent locked up. When asked by reporters what he wants people to know, William Woods says, "I was sent to jail for nothing, for being myself. The truth is important, and now the truth is known." Matthew David Keirans is currently in federal custody. His earliest projected release date places him in his early 70s. His son is now an adult. The University of Iowa Hospitals and Clinics has not publicly released the internal review of how an applicant with a fabricated identity rose to the highest tier of access. Detective Ian Mallory remains with the University of Iowa Police Department. The friction point in this case is not the theft. People steal things. People lie. That has always been true. The friction point is what happened when the truth showed up at the bank counter. The friction point is the moment the system was given a choice. Believe the man with the documents or believe the man with the story, and chose the documents. Matthew Keirans understood something that most criminal cases do not require their subjects to understand. He understood that a modern human being is, functionally, a stack of records. A social security number, a birth certificate, a driver's license, a credit file. If you can produce that stack and the real human cannot, the system will believe the stack. For 35 years, the stack he built was more credible than the man it was built from. That is the friction point. That is what we want you to think about when you close this video. We read every comment on the first 24 hours of every episode. Pin the best one. If this episode is your first friction point, there are 18 others in this format on the channel. Cases like this one. Records first. No filler. The next one drops next Tuesday. Until then, sometimes the truth is the last thing the system is built to believe.